4, 3, 2, 1, yo.
This is the new Mahindra Thar ROXX, and if you're looking for an SUV that is powered by a diesel engine, comes with automatic and has 4x4, you should buy yourself the Thar ROXX. But if you want a petrol powered automatic 4x4, then you should get yourself the Jimny. Now I say should, but honestly you don't really have a choice, because the Jimny is not available with a diesel engine, and though the Thar comes with a petrol engine, the petrol does not get 4x4. So if you're clear about what fuel type you want, petrol or diesel, your life is very simple. However, if you don't have a preference of fuel type, things can be quite challenging. But we are here to help, or at least as much as we can. Now, both the Jimny and the Thar, they might have a 4x4 thread that binds them, but when you look closer, you'll find that they're completely different beasts meant for completely different sort of needs and people. And our goal today is to list 5 reasons as to why you should pick the Jimny, and 5 reasons why you should get yourself the Thar ROXX. Buy the Jimny if, number 1, you want a comfortable ride and well sorted ergonomics. Now on the Jimny, especially when you're driving it in the city at slow speeds, it rounds the bumps well. There is a bit of body movement, but it never gets uncomfortable. The Thar, on the other hand, is stiffer and you can feel every bump. You end up bouncing around. There's also a lot more movement, not the soft movement like you get on the Jimny, but more intense. And so you get tired a lot faster in the Thar compared to the Jimny, while the Jimny till about 80 kilometers an hour feels nice and comfy and corsetting in that sense. And then when you step inside, in the Thar ROXX, you find, especially for the driver, there's barely any space around the footwell. Your knees and legs are hitting things, your elbow is hitting the new power window switches that are on the doors. On the Jimny, again, there's not a lot of space available, but it's better in terms of the driving position, in terms of seat, and also what you have in terms of space for elbow room as well as your knees and your legs. Number 2, buy the Jimny if you're going to take on tight technical trails more often. The thing is that if you're going to get on flat, fast trails, then both these cars would work, or both these SUVs would work, and they would work in rear-wheel drive more often than not. But if you're going to take on a tight technical trail, then the lack of weight and the smaller dimensions will really help. Now the Thar comes with what they call IntelliTurn, which is essentially what we call Ford Bronco turn, because we saw it on the Bronco first, where the rear wheel locks, and so you can make a tighter turn. But apart from that, the Jimny makes a lot more sense if you're going to take on challenging off-road trails. Reason number 3 to buy the Jimny is if you want a SUV 4x4 with better fuel economy, and that is greener. There are other colors as well. But yeah, if you want something that's more efficient, then you should get yourself the Jimny. Now in the city, this is significantly more efficient, but on the highway, there's really nothing to choose between the Thar and the Jimny, and that's down to its 4-speed gearbox and of course its engine, which starts to rev a lot higher once you cross 100 kilometers per hour. The 4th reason to buy the Jimny, and it might sound extremely frivolous, but well, it is what it is that if you use an iPhone and you want to use Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay, then you must get yourself the Jimny, because the Thar doesn't offer that. But if you've got an Android phone, well, you can buy either. And the final reason to buy the Jimny is that if you want to save some monies. This one here retails for 14.9 lakhs, and if you look at the Thar ROXX, just the rear-wheel drive version, because the 4x4 prices aren't out yet, the automatic diesel retails for 18.99. Now, if you look at the pricing of the Scorpio N, the rear-wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive, if you extrapolate that, then we expect that the Thar ROXX 4x4 automatic diesel will retail for about 21 lakhs. So that's a 6 lakh rupee difference between the Jimny and the Thar ROXX. If you want to save some money and you want a capable 4x4, just get yourself the Jimny. And now, reasons why you should get yourself the Mahindra Thar ROXX. And the number one reason to buy the Thar ROXX is its engine, its gearbox. It's a modern engine, it's a modern gearbox, and it gives it a phenomenal cruising ability. We just drove it from Kochi to Mumbai and it was a dream run. You could carry really high cruising speeds. It's a smooth engine, it's a potent engine. So if you like your engines to be strong, if you like your engines to be refined, well, get yourself the Thar ROXX. Now the second reason to buy the Thar ROXX over the Jimny is if you want to be noticed. Look at the sheer size difference of the two cars. So clearly, if you want to be noticed, if you want a car with greater road presence, well, it sits on a longer wheelbase compared to even the Scorpio N. It's got 19-inch wheels, and then it's got this typical, very classical Thar silhouette. So it stands out in that regard. And both are boxy, but there's just so much more muscle on the Thar that helps you stand out. Another good reason to buy the Thar ROXX, of course, is the panoramic sunroof. Now we know sunroof is a big consideration factor when buying a car, and you don't really get a panoramic sunroof in 4x4s generally. So you have it here, and that's reason enough really to buy the Thar ROXX. But just not the sunroof, it has other feel-good features as well. It's got wireless charging, it's got cooled seats, and the driver's seat, it also adjusts electrically, so that's an added feature. You've got a full-color TFT driver information display with blind view monitoring. So every time you put on the indicator, instead of just looking at the mirror, you can see what's happening or what's coming from behind you. You've got a transparent bonnet function, so it tells you what is underneath. You can look at that from this, and of course it gets a 360-degree camera. But not just the features, overall the interiors compared to the Jimny especially, there's so much more upmarket here. The quality of materials, the look and feel, the choice of, soft touch here, and the nicely made seats and all of that, it just feels like a richer, more expensive car. Reason number 4 to buy the Thar ROXX is that it can seat 5 people compared to 4 that you get on the Jimny. But that's not it. You also get a much bigger usable boot. And then at the back you have significantly more space all around. And you also have a seat that reclines quite a bit. And the final reason to buy the Thar ROXX, and as oxymoronic as it might sound, is its on-road dynamics. Now this is an off-roader, this is a 4x4, but on the road it's shocking how good it is, especially the brakes. You touch it, you tap it, and the amount of bite, feedback, all of that is very, very strong. Even in terms of how it handles the bad roads, the faster you go, the nicer it feels. Even around the corners, it's not like it's gonna end up on its door handles as the cliche goes, but it just stays very, very positive. Of course, there is a bit of body roll, but it's not alarming at all. And when you compare it to the Jimny, then it just shines. It's that good. So if you like driving on the road, surprisingly, the Thar ROXX makes a lot of sense. Now, with all that said, I don't really have much to conclude on. But what I can do instead is give you a little personal experience, because I bought the Jimny late last year. I bought it at a huge discount, almost 3 lakh rupees. And as it turns out, that discount still continues on brand new cars. So if you buy a Jimny today, you can still buy it for 3 lakh rupee less. The question is that would I upgrade to the Thar ROXX? And the question, or the answer to that question, is no, because the Jimny does what I need and want from it. It is small, so it fits into my small parking. It is comfortable on my daily commute. It is efficient. And if we need to go out in the evening, the missus and the boys, well, 4 of us can just get in and do that. But the other main reason why I don't need or feel the need to upgrade is because my wife has a second, more practical car. It's a 7-seater, it's diesel, it's automatic, and so it doubles up as our road tripping car whenever we want to go out. It's also the car where we throw in the dog when we need to take him camping. But here's the twist. I showed the ROXX to my wife, and she said that we should sell everything and just get the ROXX. So she says, why should we pay for 2 cars in terms of insurance, in terms of EMIs, fuel? Well, the ROXX can be the toy that I want, and it can also double up as a family car, take us on road trips, all of that. Well, she is too pragmatic for her own good. But here's the thing, which camp are you in? Do you want 2 separate cars to do your bidding? One small, one the more practical one, or the Thar ROXX, which just There's all of it, maybe not everything that well, but still, it checks the boxes that you need. Do let us know in the comments.